There is no boring or ordinary day in artificial intelligence. Another day, another model. Just few hours ago, Google has released the next version of its flagship Gemma model. Now we have Gemma 1.1, 2 billion and 7 billion instruction tuned model, which is an update over the original instruction tuned Gemma release. This new Gemma 1.1 was trained using a new reinforcement learning with human feedback method, leading to substantial gains on quality, coding capabilities, factuality, instruction following, and multi-turn conversation quality. Another interesting fun fact is that they have also resolved a long-standing annoying bug with the previous version. I'm not sure if you saw my previous video where I have covered extensively this Gemma, the previous release of Gemma model. In that one, whenever I was asking any question from the Gemma, it was starting every sentence with sure. But thankfully, they have fixed that annoying bug in this new model. Also, this release represents an improvement for most use cases. But the thing is that you should always test all the models for your particular use case. The previous model will still be available if you are interested on Hugging Face and also in Vertex AI in Google's Model Garden and few other locations like Kaggle. But I would suggest that always try to use the latest and greatest versions because these things are changing and evolving quite rapidly. Gemma is primarily a family of lightweight, state of the art open models from Google, built from the same research and technology used to create the Gemini models, which are quite powerful models. These models are text to text decoder only large language models available in English with open weights, pre trained variants, and instruction tuned variants. Gemma models are well suited for a variety of text generation tasks, including question answering, summarization, and reasoning. Their relatively small size makes it possible to deploy them in environments with limited resources, such as a laptop, desktop, or your own cloud infrastructure, democratizing access to the state of the art AI models and helping foster innovation for everyone. There are a lot of good things in this Gemma model, but I'm not going to go into all of the detail. I will drop the link to this Hugging Face model card and I would highly suggest that you go through it. Also, Google has this very um, in-depth and detailed Gemma documentation which you can access at google.com or just Google it and you'll find it or at blog.google.com. They have gone way more in detail into the architecture and inner details of Gemma models. Okay, now in this video, I will be installing the Gemma 1.1 2 billion instruction tuned model in full on my local system on Ubuntu, and then we will test it out on few of the prompts. Let's get started. Let me log into my local system and then we will go from there. This is my local system, and as you can see, I am running Ubuntu 22.04 and I have one GPU card of 16 GB of VRAM and my memory is 32 GB. Let me clear my screen. There are few prerequisites which you need to install like transformers. So simply do pip install transformers torch. I already have them installed, so I'm not going to do it again. But one thing I need to install, I just need to double check, is accelerate. Let's check. I think I already have it. That's good. Let me clear my screen. Let's me launch my Python interpreter. Yeah. Now that is done, the first thing we need to do is to import some of the libraries like transformers and torch. Let's wait. That is done. Let's get the tokenizer for this new Gemma 1.1. That is done. And now let's load the model. So as you can see that I am loading this Gemma 1.1 2 billion instruction 2 in 1. Model is loaded. Now let's just give it a usual prompt like write me a poem about machine learning. That is done. And now let's tokenize this input as I have GPU. So I will be using this CUDA device. And now let's ask the model to generate the output on the basis of these inputs. The model has generated the response. Let's print this output. So it has started doing something, but I because I'm not printing all of it, so it has just produced this many token. I have increased the number of maximum tokens. So as you can see, I have just put in max length to 200, and then now it has produced the whole poem about machine learning. And if you read through it, it is pretty interesting. So as usual, the quality of this JAMA model is awesome. Let me clear my screen, and then let's give it some of the more prompts to check out few of its more capabilities. Now in this new prompt, I am checking the reasoning and the perspective of this model. So I'm asking it, a self-driving car must choose between swerving to avoid hitting a pedestrian, potentially harming the passenger, or staying its course. Discuss the ethical consideration from both perspectives. Now let me give it to the tokenizer, then model is generating the output, and then we are going to print it out. There you go. So there you go. So it is just talking about okay, sorry. So I think I just gave it the previous one. So let me clear the screen. So this type, as you can see, it has printed the right response that a self-driving car must choose between swerving to avoid hitting a pedestrian. And then first it is talking about the perspective of self-driving car, and then perspective of the pedestrian. And then it is also talking about ethical considerations like duty of care and all that stuff. So you can see that reasoning of this model is really sublime. Now let me clear the screen and let's ask it another question. So this time I'm asking it, explain the concept of, I would need to put it in one line. It looks better now. So input text is, explain the concept of happiness to an entity that cannot feel emotions. Use analogies and metaphors to convey your explanation. So let's try to generate the output. Model is quite fast too. There you go. So now you can see that it is trying to explain the concept of happiness to an entity that cannot feel emotions. Imagine a beautiful garden filled with vibrant flowers and lush greenery. This garden represents the happiness. Just as the sunlight nourishes the flowers, happiness provides the necessary resources and support for an entity to grow and flourish. Remember, happiness is not about external possessions or material wealth. It is about the inner peace, contentment, and sense of purpose that arises from within. This is sublime, stellar. So you can see that model's reasoning is simply out of this world. Let me clear my screen and let's ask it one last question around coding. I'm asking it simply that write me a Python program to reverse a list. Let's see what sort of output model gives. Let me print it. There you go. So the code is simple, but you can see that how nicely it has written it. It has given the synopsis, creating a list, reversing the list with all the comments and stuff, and then it is also giving the explanation. This is simply a stellar model, and of course, there is no sure at the start of every response. So that's it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. Really impressed by this new version of Gemma, and I think this is amazing. And you already know that a lot of people are doing some diverse indic version and fine-tuned versions from the previous version of Gemma. So I think this will take it to another level. That's it. Let me know your thoughts. I'm very impressed by this model. One of the best in 7 billion and 2 billion, I must say. Let me know what do you think. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're already subscribed, then please share it among your network as it helps a lot. Thanks for watching.